For many people in Ozark, the old Model Cafe building holds years of memories, and now as city leaders work to revitalize downtown, 5 News reporter Taylor Howard shows us there's still hope the building could soon see new life again.
This is how people see Ozark. This is how people remember Ozark, even though it hasn't been like this for years.
For years, many buildings in downtown Ozark sat vacant or deteriorating. Business owner Justin McCormick, who owns a store at 113th South 3rd Street, says the building still known widely as the Model Cafe holds memories for many families in Ozark.
We used to have the Model Cafe sign that hung out for years, even beyond when it became other things. People really connected those things as like being very, very Ozark. Like that was our identity, right?
Now, Ozark city leaders say they're trying to bring some life back to downtown. The city sold the old cafe with requirements that it be fixed up. Monday night, leaders said the owner has started making progress, but future plans for the building are still unclear.
At least they're trying and making headway. Hey, I want for us to try to meet them halfway.
McCormick says over the past year, downtown Ozark has started seeing new shops and restaurants move in, including 4 new businesses opening since early April and more still on the way.
Downtown didn't really have anything. And so in this past year, we've seen vibrancy being brought back to downtown piece by piece. So these are from the Model Cafe, and they were put in, so the history is they're from a rail car.
Cabinets from the Model Cafe, a reminder of the history still rooted in downtown Ozark.
There's so much of my heart here in Ozark that I don't see why it can't be that place that you fall in love with every day.
In Ozark, covering news where you live, Taylor Howard, 5 News.
If you were around X&A this afternoon, you may have encountered a blocked road or noticed more police officers around. The airport says police were responding to a possible threat. It was later, though, determined not to be credible. The airport remained open throughout the police response, and X&A says operations are normal at this time. Cleanup efforts continue across state lines after that chemical spill at C&S Chemicals in Fort Smith off Highway 271 South. EPA says the spill did not impact the Poteau River. EPA says emergency stabilization ended last week, and the state of Arkansas is now leading long-term cleanup. Crews have been using lime to neutralize the water after the creek became more acidic. But Pecola resident Gina Dillard says a creek on her property was impacted, and she's worried it could hurt vegetation.
Start seeing dead vegetation and such, I'm sure that they're going to have to do something because, again, it's going to create more erosion. It's going to be a long road because they said it could have a lot of residual effect down the road because of how much it did do and how long it sat there.
Latest update on the city's website to update the public on the cleanup says testing shows conditions are improving. Springdale police investigating the death of a 17-year-old after his car crashed into a motorbike on Saturday. 55-year-old was on East Huntsville turning left onto Emma Street when police say he failed to yield and struck the juvenile. Springdale Fire and EMS performed life-saving care at the scene. The 17-year-old was taken to the hospital and later passed away. The driver was cited for failing to yield, and officers are waiting now for lab results to determine if any impairments led to the accident. Meanwhile, State Department of Public Safety has announced a deadly crash in Fort Smith. 41-year-old Robbie Rice was heading east on 0 when she hit a light pole and was ejected from her car. It also caught fire. The crash happened 2 in the morning on Friday. Rice's car was the only one involved in that accident. Fayetteville City Council will meet tomorrow night to talk about an appeal for the new Ramey Junior High School site plan. Planning Commission approved those plans last month, but now City Council member Teresa Turk is leading an appeal. She says in a letter the permit does not meet the concerns raised by nearby residents, namely pedestrian safety and land protection. The council will also hear an appeal on the decision to deny a drone manufacturing facility near Drake Field Airport. The Board of Adjustments denied Swarm Aero's business license last month after it found it was not properly classified for zoning. Recycling changes are rolling out this week in Fayetteville. You should be getting new wheeled carts that'll replace the old bins. You still will have to sort out the glass and put it in a green bin, but You'll now have more recycling room, depending on the bin size you select. If you didn't pick one, you'll automatically get the mid-sized bin. Assigned collection weeks will be available on the city's website a bit later this month. Bentonville City Council will discuss their Ward 1 member opening at the regular meeting tomorrow night. Ward 1 Representative Gayatri Richardson resigned last month, saying she wanted more time with her family after her mother died. Today was the last day the city was accepting applications for the opening. Now, according to the Bentonville Bulletin, 15 people have expressed interest in the Ward 1 position. The council will decide tomorrow whether to appoint someone right away or call for a special election later this year. Arkansas's only nuclear plant is back online after one of its units was shut down for major maintenance projects. Russellville's Nuclear 1 plant is responsible for more than 80% of the state's carbon-free electricity, or 1 million households worth of electricity. Catherine Rowley got to tour the facility today and learned the project is aimed to extend the facility's lifeline.
Entergy says this was a first of its kind project for the nuclear industry, and it also happened right here in Arkansas. The refueling outage not only had been prepared for 18 months, but it also helps set the stage for the plant to operate for decades to come.
Everybody knows when the plant's back online, especially Unit 2, because they get to see what's standing behind us here is a cooling tower. The amount of water vapor that you see coming off the top of that cooling tower is something that everybody looks for in the area.
Nuclear 1 is a major power source from Arkansas, and for about 2 months, that cloud of water vapor vanished as crews refueled Unit 2 and completed a major maintenance project.
The biggest was a reactor vessel head replacement. That's going to be big for being able to extend the life of Unit 2 for additional 20 years.
Entergy says the outage had two main goals: extending the life of the plant and keeping energy costs stable for customers.
Arkansas Nuclear 1 provides about 20% of the state's power. In addition, it provides roughly 60% to 65% of the state's clean power.
Not only was this the largest outage in the plant's history, but it's also historic for the industry, involving work centered around Unit 2's reactor vessel.
During this evolution, we actually notched the corners of our equipment hatch, removed our equipment hatch out, put our new containment reactor vessel head in through that area, and then we did an assembly inside of the reactor containment building.
Safety is a top priority at the plant, and to ensure accuracy, operators trained for more than a year before they even laid their hands on new equipment.
We just have to make adjustments to the new equipment. We have to make sure that the operators are ready to operate it before it ever even goes in.
And with power demands climbing, leaders say extensive training is critical to keep energy flowing smoothly.
The more that we can operate a plant at near or at 100% reliably, efficiently for the entire cycle, then the better off the entire area is going to be.
That was Catherine Rowley reporting.